Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Book Random. We've covered this week's Marvel books as well as most of this week's DC books. Now to finish off the roundup, and we'll actually be starting off with a couple holders from the last few weeks, as well as one from Free Comic Book Day. There are some reasons for that, and I'll go into those. Taking these off though, we've got Robin, number 13. Robin number 13 is part 4, I believe, of Shadow War, the crossover between Batman, Deathstroke Incorporated, and Robin. Where we left off, well, Ra's al Ghul was dead, seemingly at the hands of Deathstroke. And so the League of Assassins had been sent out to kill Deathstroke and anyone standing between the League and Deathstroke. However, Deathstroke didn't do it. Also, Deathstroke was introduced to Respawn, who it turns out is basically a clone, in some ways a Damian clone, just with Deathstroke's DNA as opposed to Bruce Wayne's. So, and the previous issue to this previous part to this ended with Deathstroke and Respawn in one of Deathstroke's safe houses in San Francisco, and that safe house being found by Ravager and Robin. So we begin with Batman trying to find, going after Slade, and Oracle even admits, Slade knows how to cover his tracks. But Deathstroke and Respawn are fighting Ravager and Robin. But Deathstroke uses a failsafe, causes an explosion. Him and Respawn escape, but Robin quickly probably manages to go after them, with Ravager following as well. But then, when the fight, things manage to calm down, and Respawn reveals who he is to Robin. And learning the truth about Respawn actually makes Damian happy. He has a brother, like a brother, not just not a Dick or Tim or Jason. No, a brother. But yeah, Respawn attacks Robin. Then Batman arrives on the scene. But the talk between Deathstroke, Batman, and Robin is interrupted by Dr. Moon, who is in the clutches of some of Talia's assassins. Apparently, Dr. Moon woman he loved was was part of Slade's society, and so but Dr. Moon is killed. Batman and Deathstroke argue about the methods, and Slade gets away. Batman and Robin opt to work together to find to figure out who it was that killed Raish. And but it's also explained that Batman's got a plan to keep Slade's secret society safe. That plan is Batman Incorporated. As Ghostmaker saves Prometheus. Well, Ghostmaker and Clown Hunter. Mostly Ghostmaker. And that's where that issue ends. So yeah, this was actually from 2 weeks ago. I forgot completely to pick it up when I was picking up my comics that week, and yeah, in fact, it ended up it sold through, but some reorders came in last week, so I was able to pick it up this week. Which brings us, however, to our next book, Batman number 123, from last week, Shadow War Part 5. So, at Blackgate Penitentiary, an inmate is being brought to speak to his lawyer. It's not his lawyer, though. It's Batman. Turns out this particular inmate was one of the crew running around for the Royal Flush Gang dressed as Deathstroke in Justice League a few months ago. Damian manages to intimidate the guy into talking. He explains that when they were hired, they went to the guy that does the Rogues costumes in Central City, Gamby. And there was another guy there, real, as explained, real weird, didn't say a word, but you could tell he was not a happy camper. The inmate says that he could feel like the anger radiating off the guy, like the room was shaking. The guy's almost as scary as Batman. And Robin questions whether or not Batman Incorporated could actually protect the secret society. Apparently, Batman Incorporated is not too keen on the whole thing, but some are saying they should just, they should just kill all of them, or at least let the assassins kill them all. In Washington, the Wilsons are at the scene of the assassination of Raish, and Deathstroke is trying to get the idea of maybe if he sees what the assassins saw, maybe he can get into the assassin's head. Batman and Robin arrive in Central City. They find Gamby, but he's unconscious. Oh, God. But a lot of stuff in the shop's been destroyed. Anything that can be tracked. And Robin realizes that someone wanted a war between Deathstroke and Talia. And the assassin shows up again. Apparently, the assassin knows Damien. But while trying to get an idea a feel for the assassin, Deathstroke realizes there's something else there, and it's a member of Batman Incorporated. As the League of Assassins attacks. In the assault, Respawn is shot to hell and back, and it also appears that the member of Batman Incorporated that was sent to protect Slade was also killed. Ravager, after the fight has ended, finds Slade cradling Respawn's body, clearly reacting the same way he reacted when his son Grant, the original Ravager, was killed. And that is where our primary story ends. But since it's Batman, we have a backup story. That backup story was was there a title given? I think so. Batman versus Deathstroke and the Joker. I think that's just for that part. But Batman was informed of a hit on Robin while investigating. He encountered Deathstroke. First time he's ever encountered Deathstroke. Prevented the hit. The two of them started fighting. Tracked him down. Find out who would put the hit out on him. And when he arrived, however, Deathstroke started laughing uncontrollably. Explaining that, and he even states that yes, the Joker hired him. Deathstroke manages to escape by a flashbang grenade, and Joker, while bragging about having killed Robin, is interrupted when his goons are promptly taken down by Deathstroke. Still smiling and, well, actually kind of surprised. Joker's surprised that Deathstroke's still alive. Batman saves Joker. But Deathstroke manages to escape. Joker's brought in, and Batman and Commissioner Gordon decide that Robin doesn't need to know about all this. And when Robin arrives, well, they keep it to themselves. And the story ends at one of Deathstroke's houses. He's awakened by Wintergreen. He asks what happened and why his face hurts. And Wintergreen explains that Slade went to Gotham for a hit. Wintergreen adding that it didn't work out. Slade returned home and slept for 2 days. Apparently, Wintergreen had warned Slade that Gotham is not a happy hunting ground. But as he didn't finish the contract, Slade says that no one can ever know about that. It'll be their secret. Which is an interesting way to retcon the fact that this is a new first meeting between Batman and Deathstroke. Very much why there's a recorded first meeting like that happened in the comics, but now we have a new one that it's a little similar to how everything was explained away at the end of the first arc of X-Men Legacy. Everyone was ready to forget. So, I'm really loving Shadow War and that story with Batman and Slade. That was honestly pretty cool. Trevor Harrison's art was a definite plus to it. But yeah, that's Batman, which moves us to our next book, which is our holdover from Free Comic Book Day, Dark Crisis #0. So Dark Crisis is DC's big summer event for this year. Or, well, big event. It's running from June through December. We're already getting kind of the build-up. If I remember correctly, in all honesty, Shadow War is supposed to, in some ways, be part of the lead-up. Justice League 75 was part of the build-up with the death of the Justice League, which is what issue 0 deals with. So we've got an A story. Then I think we got some preview pages from Dark Crisis #1. But so our initial story, some kids are at the Justice League Museum. The docent is showing them all various things like Starro, the League being turned to the trees, League fighting Darkseid, so on and so forth. The various lineups and how there's no real best lineup, but it turns out that the docent is in fact Clayface. Apparently, some of the one of the various random groups of villains had Clayface impersonate the docent at the Justice League Museum, because turns out that the League keeps Darkseid's mother box on display for some asinine reason. But Flash shows up. The kids that are being led on a tour, they grab the mother box to keep her away from Clayface, and Flash manages to heat Clayface up and basically harden him. And Flash tries to does his best to hey, yeah, this is a tough thing, reminiscing largely about the death of Barry Allen and Crisis on Infinite Earths. And he spends it over the top. At the time he was still a teen titan. He felt like he was just the new kid. But over time, he realized that the Justice League is always growing and changing, embracing the new, just like they embraced Wally. So it's not really a question of if they'll have a new Justice League or when. The real question is who. And I'm actually going to hold off on the preview pages of Dark Crisis. Those will be out soon enough. We get a brief history of the DC multiverse, which in part covers all the major events, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Metal and Death Metal, and various related tales, and yeah. It's a quick little thing. For some reason, the shop, my local shop, didn't get the normal version. All they got were the foil cover versions, which I'm not complaining. But so yeah, and there was something about they're not being officially released until like Monday. But yeah, but picked up this week, so. If I'd picked it, if the regular version come in, we would have covered it a week ago. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Justice League vs. League of Superheroes #3. We're going to consider this early tie-in of sorts to Dark Crisis, since the titular two teams are dealing with the Great Darkness. And where we left off, the League had ended up in the future of the Legion, with most Legion with them, with the exception of Gold Lantern, who was stuck on in the present of Earth Zero, when the Great Darkness appeared, and it seemingly appeared both in the present and the future at the same time. But so the present Gold Lantern's trying to figure out what to do with it, while in the future the League and the Legion are both trying to figure out what to do. But pretty much all their plans kind of just don't work. Meanwhile, Batman notes the fact that one of the Legionnaires is a Gold Lantern, and remembers Epoch, who popped up in, I want to say it was the recent Justice League Annual, warning them of a Gold Lantern. If they find the Gold Lantern, destroy the ring. But something happens with the darkness, and everyone ends up in various other points in time and places. Batman is almost arrested by the science police. Brainiac, Naomi, and Mon-El end up in Earth, what would be Earth's past for Brainiac and Mon-El, but the era of Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, who finds them and to take them to the science when they ask. The science is apparently an old Leviathan facility. Meanwhile, the big three of the Legion, Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, and Lightning Lad, end up in Batman Beyond's future. Saturn Girl tells Batman Beyond what's going on, and making it easier for help. Meanwhile, Ultra Boy and Aquaman are stuck landlocked in a post and presumably at least a landlocked area. Meaning Aquaman basically has no powers, and may as well just, is probably getting close to dying but they're attacked by a giant dinosaur, by multiple dinosaurs. So Aquaman says they need to find an ocean or a lake. But the Gold Lantern appears to be in a strange version of Metropolis, trying to get in touch with the Guardians of Oa. Seems to be in a different time, but so he's trying to figure out why he's there. It's because there must be a reason, and that is where the issue ends. This series has been interesting. Like I said, I feel like it's supposed to be somewhat connected to Dark Crisis, but I guess we'll find out in a few months when the finale drops. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Nocterra Number 10. Where we left off, Sundog Convoy was on its way to Luna in the hopes of finding Eos. And so we begin. Piper is woken up, and it's light outside. From outside, it's light, and everyone's walking towards her. Only they're all now shades. She wakes up, and it was the nightmare. They've arrived, however. At Luna. And so they got to figure, okay, what's the plan? Plans of being most of the convoy members, with the exception of Piper and Adam, they make their way to Luna under the bridge with magnetic pads so that they're not seen by the guards, while Bill provides a distraction. But the guards are killed. So the dog convoy gets inside. They've also strapped a bomb to Bill just to make sure he doesn't double cross him. He takes him to where he was made, basically, and finds the guy in charge of Luna. And asks for the coordinates to Eos, which the coordinates then pass along to Piper. However, it appears that some of the other Nocturnes are waiting for outside. They're waiting near where some Nog convoy is parked. But Bill takes a group to the proving grounds when the other Nocturnes show up. Sam Sugar, who's in charge of Luna, basically tells William, the current leader of the Nocturnes, if William kills Bill, well, he'll definitively be the Alpha Nocturne, and Sam will start calling him Bill instead of William. But Piper has a plan. He's busted into Eos with an assault rifle. Adam has got her heap-a-tongue helmet, plugs it in, which drains enough power from Luna to turn off its lights. Which is, of course, the only thing keeping the various shades at bay. And well, those shades, like I said, they're no longer at bay, so they're coming. And that is where the issue ends. Nocterra is just it's been a great book. I'm loving it. Scott Snyder is just he's killing it. But anyway, that is going to do it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.